So I'm talking with Nate from Passion Pit today. How are you?
Great, how are you?
Doing good. Doing good. So I know that you have a tour with Muse, and I wanted to know, have you played dates with them yet? I think you have, right? Or is that just coming up?
We've done a couple, not like direct support, but just festival dates where they've been around. So we've gotten to meet them and see their show, and it's pretty exciting.
That's cool. And you have dates with them coming up for the US, correct?
Yeah. In September and beginning of October on the West Coast and some of the Midwest.
Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think that's a good pairing between you two guys? Are you a fan of the band?
Oh yeah, I can remember like driving to school blasting some of their older albums. So it's kind of cool that we'll be able to open for them.
Yeah, must be a good experience, I'm sure. So we look forward to catching you on the road when you're out. So I know that you guys are also involved in remix work. You do like a lot of, I think you've done like Marina and the Diamonds and some other good mixes. How does the process work? Are you all involved in that, or is it just a couple of you that do the remixes? Or
I started doing it while we were doing Manners in the studio, and just because I would get in there early and try and like make use of the studio before everyone was awake.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that we worked on. Was the Rava Riot remix, and that kind of started the requests coming in from other artists, and then since then it's kind of spread out into a full band effort.
Yeah.
Where we kind of split it up and sometimes work together, and it just goes from taking the studio stems of other bands, which I think is like really, really interesting to see and hear, and like how they make music and see it visually, and then kind of pick apart which parts I want to use and build upon, and kind of it's almost like being in the studio with them a little bit. So it's really fun for me.
So do you have any ones that you guys are currently working on that will be coming out soon, or?
I'm doing. We've kind of slowed down a little bit for remixes. For a bit, we're gonna kind of try to go back to doing our own thing next record.
Yeah.
But I still do mine on my own. I'm doing one for a band called Oh Children.
Yeah.
London band that like a really deep, almost. Not sure how to place. Really unique sounding singer. Really excited to work on a track of theirs.
Nice. So do you ever get the opportunity to like remix stuff that you guys have put together? Like do a take on your own track? How is that experience? Like that must be interesting.
It's really fun because it's kind of like in the studio you kind of have to be a little bit democratic and kind of meet in the middle with other people, but when you're at home I don't have to really. I can do whatever I want. I did a remix of The Reeling that's a little bit, it's less singing and more like dance floor and a little bit more tongue-in-cheek fun. And I was planning on doing the entire album, but maybe I'll do it someday.
Were you prepared for the like extreme sort of sudden fame that you guys got due to like the EP first of all, and then the follow-up album, and the track Sleepyhead is like everywhere? Like, did you ever think it would take off quite so quickly for you guys?
No way.
No.
I mean, people, once it started to happen, the whole thing's been so fast. Even before I was in the band, when I was just kind of like seeing them in the Boston scene coming up, like I was impressed with how fast it was going then. And then being in the band, it's just so, it's unreal how quick it's all gone, and we've been really lucky. We're just trying to stay on top of it and keep people happy right now.
So do you feel like because of your like huge success with the last album that there's a really intense pressure on your follow-up that you guys will be thinking about too?
I think we had the pressure already there for the first one because of the EP, so there was a lot of, we know how to. I think it helped drive us. It helped us stay in the studio for like 14 or 15 hours a day for those 2.5 months because we felt like we had to live up to something from before. And I think that pressure will still be there, which is great. So and I think we know what we're doing a little bit more now, and maybe a little bit more calm, and actually be able to relax and put only stuff on the album that we're completely 1,000% happy with.
You worked on anything yet, or?
Mike's a songwriter, and he's kind of beginning to demo stuff on his own. And we're just kind of talking about what we've talked a lot about what we don't want to do. Kind of like from the last album, like what we want to maybe do a little smarter this time. And so we know maybe what direction it's going to go, but there's nothing laid down on tape yet.
How does the process work? He comes with the written track, and you guys all then put in your input in the studio together?
Well, for Manners, it's really the only experience I can like talk on, because he did the EP alone. It was him and I, our producer Chris Zane at the studio, and the engineer Alex Aldi. The four of us kind of, he would come, not even with the whole song, like a chord progression, and one morning be like, hey, how does these 4 chords sound? Like, cool, let's record it, let's try it with some different rhythms. And then I'd be recording like one keyboard patch while someone else would be programming the next one, or like working on a drum beat in the live room or something like that. And then it just kind of, it was like building a Lego like castle.
Everyone had their own part.
All right, we finished the moat, let's build the drawbridge, and kind of like piece and piece and piece.
Build it up.
And somehow it turned into an album.
I don't know if you or he has been thinking about like people that you might want to produce the album with you guys. Any names been thrown around?
We're definitely gonna start again with Chris and see how it goes. I think it'll be different for all of us. He's done a lot of great albums since that, and I think we all know how to work with each other, so that it'll be a lot quicker. And I mean, who knows, if we could do an album with him and then do an album with, I don't know, Steve Albini or something crazy, and then mix it together, and that'll be the next album. We haven't talked to anyone else besides Chris Zane, and I don't see why we should. I mean, if something goes terribly wrong, or if it's not going well.
They can look at other things.
I trust him. I think it'll be great.
So besides Chris, who do you think is doing good things right now, production-wise, like for other bands?
I mean, I know a lot of producers who just produce themselves. So that list could be endless. There's a lot of great up and comers, especially like in the like kind of weirder dubstep, 2-step garage kind of stuff. A lot of dance music. But as far as producing other bands, I think James from Simian Mobile Disco, like, he's one person that can kind of transcend making his own music and Simian Mobile Disco to like producing other really good bands. I'm excited to see what he's working on. Since we last saw him in January, I'm sure he has like 7 albums and stuff.
What's left for the rest of the year for you guys?
A little bit of time off. Like this, we'll have the weeks off and work on the weekends. Which is nice. So we get to make music again on our own, and a lot of DJing for me, which is fun. To go back to doing that a lot more. And just a lot of time at home. Sleeping,
recharging for your next adventure. So what kind of stuff do you play when you DJ out?
A lot of like UK bass music, like everything from dubstep to garage and like weirder house, everything in between. It's disco if it's right, a lot of hip hop too if it's what the party needs. I don't know. But my true love is kind of like underground dance music.
Well, that's about all I had to ask. But thanks a lot for speaking with us.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you on the road.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.